Hello and welcome to Season 2 of the Lamenters. We are back, and we're going to start this session with two members of the party who were not in the previous session, and that is Kail and Matt. Kail, you are playing Oldrad Warmail, and Matt, you're playing Havardr Ebonlocke. I love that you have so many consonants jammed together for my enjoyment and pronunciation. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Havardr and Oldrad, you wake up to the sound before you even open your eyes. You wake up to the sound of water moving. You are damp. And you realize that it's kind of chilly, a little bit cold. But you open your eyes and you are in a very lush green forest. There are pine trees, huge pine trees, just off the bank of the river that you are literally at the edge of. Like, your boots are in the river. You have all the equipment and supplies that you had that are on you, your weapons, your armor, your bags. You even have bedrolls, but they're rolled up. You're not sleeping in them. And you hear the sounds of birds, chirping in the forest. You hear some bugs, and you hear the sound of this stream kind of flowing past you. When you sit up to look around, you see this lush kind of area that you're in. And across the stream from you, above the tree line, you see mountains. And it takes a moment, but you look at each other. And you don't recognize each other. Each one of you is sitting on a rocky shore of a creek in the mud, looking at someone across from you. I'm gonna have each of you describe what your characters look like. We'll start with Kail. Kail, describe what Oldrad looks like so that Havardr knows what he's seen.
Yeah, so this older looking gentleman, probably in his late 40s, starts to get up on his elbows. He is wearing chainmail, has a couple of weapons strapped to his body. Probably a slightly graying beard, but it's kind of low, I would say, to his chest. And he's, let's see, black hair in color. He gets up on his elbow and he's like, "Ugh, what in the blazes?" And he sees the other gentleman and he's, "Who are you?"
Havardr, what does Havardr look like?
He's a fair-skinned man with braided red hair, pretty long, goes down his back, and a braided, very luscious red beard. He also wears chainmail, and you can see a bow strapped to his chest, a quiver on his right hip, and a short sword in his left. He just wakes up, sits up, looks back at you. "I'm Havardr. Do you know how we got here?"
I should say my character is also kind of like fair-skinned. He says, "I wish I could say well met, but this doesn't really seem to be the circumstance. My name's Oldrad." And he starts to get up.
Neither of you, as Havardr asked this question, neither of you seem to remember the circumstances that brought you here.
Do I have a headache or anything like that? Or do I just
you have no headache. You're slightly damp, as if. Well, actually, the ground around you looks damp. It's not just the stream. There's dew on the grass. There's dew in the pine needles. It's a very damp area, as if perhaps it rained a little bit recently.
Okay.
Can I see a river anywhere? A stream?
Yeah, you are literally, your feet are in the edge of the stream.
Okay.
Yeah, I get up, start to try and like brush the little droplets off that are attached to my clothing.
As you look around, you see that there's no evidence that there was a camp here. Like there's no there's no evidence of a camp. Do either of you have bushcraft by any chance?
I don't think so, but I'll double check.
Hey, look at that. A fail. You don't even see any cracks. Like in the mud, or even within 20 feet of where you both are, you don't see any boot prints that would indicate that you had walked here.
Just standing up,
bushman.
looking perplexed, just not sure what's going on. Just looking around, just trying to see if there's anyone else lying around on the ground.
You look up and down the river. The sun is overhead, but it's a little overcast. So you figure like it's perhaps noon or somewhere around that time. You're not sure which way east or west is, north or south.
Yeah.
You do remember who you are.
Okay.
Do you remember, your life? You just can't remember how you got here.
Well, considering I don't know what direction's which, I couldn't even guess where I'm at because of I see at least the mountain line you said.
Yes, you do see mountains.
They don't look recognizable by chance.
Not in any way that you would recognize. You don't see any evidence of like human habitation.
Well, this is quite the situation. Is it Havardr? Or I'm sorry.
Yes.
Havardr. I'm not. Do you know how we got here? I don't seem to remember anything. It's not like I drank a bunch of booze last night. I don't have a headache, so I'm very, very perplexed of how I wound up here.
I can't say the same. I had a lot of booze last night, but I have no idea how we got here either. And since you woke up on the ground with me, I assume you're not an enemy.
Havardr, as you talk about this, you're like, I drank a lot of booze last night. You have this flash, this flashback, this memory pops into your mind of you being in a tavern. And you had a lot to drink. And you can hear the sounds of the tavern, the clinking of glasses and plates and mugs and people talking and maybe even some music and somebody singing. And you're like looking down at your tankard, which is like the 6th tankard of ale that you've had. And you just, in this flashback, you see a hand reaching into your field of view with a scroll. And the scroll has like a wax seal, but you can't see the seal in your flashback. But you see this hand, and it looks like a kind of a wrinkled, there's a few age spots, like an older hand reaching in and setting this scroll in front of you. And then you kind of flash back to the present.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I remember a scroll being set in front of me as I was downing my 6th thing of alcohol. But nothing after that.
I don't know if he's gotten up yet, but Oldrad offers a hand and helps him up. If not, like I put my hands to my temples and I'm like massaging them. I'm like, I'm just trying to get any kind of like memory from at least the day prior and figure out what's going on.
You're very foggy. You cannot seem to remember like what you were doing yesterday.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
You guys are kind of standing in this position. You look in both directions, up and down the river. Upstream, it just seems like this stream kind of winds through this forested little valley. mountains in that direction. You look the other direction, downstream, kind of the same thing. The stream kind of curves around, continuing through this forested valley, and you see mountains in that direction. So it seems like you are surrounded by mountains.
Well, my new friend, I'm not sure. I can't seem to recall anything, but I mean, I imagine we could stay close to the stream. It's either up or downstream. I'm not sure which way we should go. What do you think?
Upstream normally means it's coming from the mountains, so I'd say we go downstream and see if we can find civilization.
At that moment,
Hopefully.
Oldrad,
Yes.
roll a d20 for me. Actually, I'll do that. Okay, you're considering which way to go. Smash cut back to the group. Who is leading this march through this forested area towards the stream?
I am.
Okay. Liber, as you are walking, you hear, the group is with you. You feel like you've been walking through this forested area for a little bit, and you can hear the sounds of the creek up ahead. And then kind of, there's a lot of dense trees and underbrush, but for a moment, you think you see kind of between some trees across the stream, you see two people standing there. Two men, both of them wearing armor.
I'm gonna kind of signal to everyone that to stop and point in a direction.
Okay, you guys, Liber turns around and he signals for you to stop. Claude, at that moment, Critter actually, he stops and he walks about 3 paces ahead of you, and you see his snout kind of lifting up, and he kind of turns to you and he whines. He's like,
Yeah. He's looks like Critter is picking up on something. Probably something up ahead. So be on your guard, fellas. And I step forward and stand beside Liber.
okay,
I want to be on the other side of him.
okay. Do any of you have, weapons drawn, or what's your approach with this? Okay.
I have prepared my bow, just
Okay.
to be sure.
So
I would unsheath my short sword.
all right, Bivoj, you have your bow. Bivoj, you have your bow. Bane, you have your axe. Leonard, what are you doing?
I will probably just stay a little bit in the back and see how the situation evolves.
Okay. Liber, any weapons?
Not yet.
All right. And Sarah, any weapons?
No, and I want to lean over to Liber a little bit. I've noticed that people seem to respond to me favorably, but sometimes say the wrong thing. So, if you can help me with that, I'd like that.
Let's see how this goes. Do we want to approach as a group? Maybe a couple of us approach first.
Just stay as a group.
As a group?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys kind of proceed through. And as you get to kind of the last 5 feet of this wooded area, you see the creek. There's about 10 feet of muddy, rocky shore next to this stream. And you see these two guys across the stream. And this is not a huge stream. It's about 30 feet across, but it doesn't seem like very deep. Oldrad and Havardr, at this moment, as you are discussing which way to walk, you see a group of people walk through on the opposite side of the stream, walk through the forest and into the open.
Mm-hmm.
Let's describe what they see, starting with Liber.
I'm going to step forward again. I don't have any weapons drawn. I'm going to say hail.
Okay, you guys, see a young-ish kind of tan-skinned man walk through, and he holds up a hand and says, "Hail." You notice that he's not carrying any weapons. Directly behind him, or sorry, to one side of him, go ahead and describe your character, Claude.
26, brown hair, hazel eyes. You see me clad in chainmail. I have my short sword out. You have a two-hander on my back and a bow. And you see Critter just sliding in front of me.
What's
my
Critter?
German Shepherd-like guard dog.
And he's also tan-skinned. On the other side of him, you see a woman who is standing. I'm sorry, Marie. Did you say you have your bow out or no?
I do not have my bow out.
Okay. Go ahead and describe what Sarah looks like.
Not too tall, a light frame, looks mature, medium complexion, black hair, average looks, and she looks really calm and has a welcoming look on her face, but is also just looking around to see if there's anyone else. If anyone knows this is a military thing.
You see kind of a little bit to the side of her. You see another man standing who is also fair-skinned, and maybe a little bit older. Veet, go ahead and describe what Bivoj looks like.
Bivoj is tall and fair-skinned, not very muscular though. He has brown hair, chainmail that looks rustic, and very plain clothes. Not that he's sharp looking, but he definitely has some personality.
And on the other side is the youngest looking member of this party. Martin, go ahead and describe what Leonard looks like.
So you see like a little bit skinny young man, blonde hair, fair skin, and he's just he's basically looking over the shoulder of whoever is between you and him. He's kind of hiding.
Oldrad and Havardr, you notice that this youngest person is very fair-skinned. You suspect that, like you, he is of the Odai ancestry. And then towering behind the young man is a larger man who is holding, though not combat ready, holding a big battle axe. Heath, describe what Bane looks like.
Bane looks like he might travel with the local circus as like a freak. This dude's huge, but he's weathered. He's raggedy. He's got chainmail on. A massive battle axe that he calls Bertha. And and he's got black hair, long, kind of stringy, weathered, but you can't tell what his complexion is because he's so filthy. And just has the 1,000-yard stare at all times.
You notice that he's also wearing chainmail. He's got a shield slung over his shoulder. And as this group kind of emerges from the forest with the first man who came out and said, "Hail," like you, they all seem to be very well equipped with armor and weapons and backpacks and bedrolls. But they walk through the forest and they're across the stream from you. How do you respond to it?
Look over to Oldrad and say in a low voice, It could be bandits. So keep your guard up.
Yeah, I give the slightest nod. I turn and face the person who said hail, and I don't draw my weapons, but and I kind of have my hands up, but my forearms are resting on, because I do have a, what do I have? A dagger and what do I got? A dagger and a battle axe, a small one, slung at my side, but my forearms are resting on them at least. And I say, hail.
Oldrad, you notice something about the man who said hail.
Mm-hmm.
Around his neck is a silver disc, and emblazoned on the disc is the visage, the face of a man with long hair and a powerful beard. You recognize this immediately as the symbol of the one true God.
Oldrad doesn't respond to that, but he takes notice.
Okay. The rest of you are 30 feet across the stream. What would you like to do?
May we approach?
Yeah. We just woke up here.
Yes, we seem to have found ourselves in a odd set of circumstances. Our feet were half in the stream here, and we don't know how we got here. Do you know where we're at?
Let us come closer so we don't have to shout.
Okay, so fording the stream. Everybody who's crossing the stream, make a strength roll under. And all you have to do is roll under your strength. This should be fun for a few of you.
On what die?
A D20. So, for example, Marie, you will likely be struggling to get across without much help, as will Veet and Martin and Liber, unless you choose to anchor yourself with some rope to someone else who has a much better chance of not drowning.
Well, as you saw from my reaction, I definitely rolled under my strength. So, I rolled a 3.
Okay.
I rolled 5.
Okay.
So I'll just walk right in.
Claude, Leonard.
I will be almost certainly a little bit shaken as I rolled 15 against my 6.
Okay. Bane.
9 against
Bane, I want you to make a dexterity roll under.
17 under 18.
Okay. Just enough. Leonard, as you start to slip and start to fall into the water, Bane reaches out quickly with reactions like a spring and just grabs your shoulder and pulls you up and helps you cross. Liber, what did you roll?
I rolled a 1.
You push against the current of the stream. When you get to the middle of the stream, it's about 5 feet deep. So you're soaked by the time you guys get up to the other side. But you make it, and collectively you kind of come out, you're just soaked. Presumably, those of you who had things that would be ruined by water, hefted your backpacks and bedrolls above you as you crossed. We'll just assume that was what you did. So you make it across, and Oldrad and Havardr, you were looking at them and feeling much better about your dampness now because they are all soaking wet, whereas you are only mildly damp. And it is cold, I should say. So, the group of you now stand at what you feel is the north bank of this stream that is running east and west.
Greetings, strangers. Seems that we've all come here under strange circumstance. We too have woke up from a instant sleep, some type of dropped into a plateau of some sort, and walked our way up to a cave and found animal fur and human being remains, and tracks for a creature that never returned. And so we've found ourselves this way to the stream.
Strange set of circumstances indeed. My friend and I here, Havardr, I'm Oldrad, merely woke up minutes ago. Found ourselves here.
Well met, I'm Bane.
I assume that you guys will all introduce yourselves. But you are now chilled. It would help to dry out in some fashion.
Would you mind if we make up some bonfire or something that we can a little bit warm ourselves? It's not very pleasant in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go
It'd be
look for
good
some
for
wood.
most of you.
It's
By
going
the
to be
way-
a challenge, being having rained basically all night last night. It's going to be a challenge finding dry
Yeah,
timber.
we can still try.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, like, happy birthday. Just maybe.
Thanks, it's actually my birthday today.
Oh, it is. Great.
I suggest we find some drier ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
You all have not explored the forested part of the valley north of this stream. So if you want, you can kind of push into there.
Is it like forest around this stream or some
Yes.
bushes?
Yes, it's very forested. Everybody make a d6 roll and hope that you roll a 1.
And that's what I rolled, was a 1.
3.
2.
2.
3.
5.
Oldrad, as you are walking into the forest with the rest of the group, you guys kind of fan out, you're looking for dry wood. You see that there are 2 fallen trees that kind of fell sort of next to each other. And it looks like there's a pocket of dried bark and pine needles that would make for nice tinder and kindling for a fire.
Okay.
Amp off a few of the branches as well. And you guys kind of clear some space and you begin working on a fire. And in short order, you have a decent fire going. Most of you who are soaking wet will doff your armor and dry it off to the best of your ability, probably using your bedroll. Wring out your clothing, set your boots and your clothing, some parts of your clothing, over a couple sticks over the fire. And I'm going to say that the whole process takes about 30 minutes. Is that fair? But you are now much drier and much warmer.
And halfway naked.
What's that?
And halfway naked.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it in shifts. But basically, you drape a bedroll around while your pants or shirts are drying, that kind of stuff. Shaking off your armor, that kind of stuff. All of your weapons, drying that off. At this point, or during this point, Oldrad and Havardr, since you weren't soaking wet, it occurs to you that you're pretty hungry. So I will ask you, do you have rations?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Havardr, you also have rations?
Yes.
As you guys are both kind of like getting some rations out, you notice, you look in your bags, your backpacks, and you find that, you have some things. Havardr, you have a map of the Lands of Doreguteon in your backpack. You also find that you have a pouch that is very full of silver. You have hundreds of silver in your pouch. And Oldrad, you as well, as you're kind of looking through your stuff, you find that you are very well endowed with silver as well. And you notice that the silver pieces that you guys have are both very pristine, as if they were like brand newly minted. And you look at the minting on your silver, and you notice that it's minted from the kingdom of Avendia, which is one of the western kingdoms. On the front is the face of the king. On the back is the face of the queen. And on the front, the year in which it was minted. And you notice that year on all of your pristine silver coins is the year 1120.
What year did I know it was before I woke up?
It seems to you to be an accurate, like you remember 1120. You remember it being that year.
Okay. So the year's not weird, just that my coins are brand spanking new.
Yeah. And you have a lot of money. Like, that's a lot of money.
I don't remember having that much money before.
Well, more importantly, you're not sure why you have that much money or how you have that money. But it's a lot. You have several hundred silver pieces. The rest of you notice, like, as you're drying your stuff out, you notice that Oldrad and Havardr are kind of like getting some rations out. You notice they like pull out pouches. They're like looking at these coins. Coins which seem to be in pristine condition.
So do you guys also have a pouch that you don't recall having filled with coins? Because all of us did.
Yeah, there's a lot more than I've seen in my life in this pouch.
Well, quite a few. I don't understand why they're all brand new.
Yes,
it seems.
You don't understand.
Well, while we were coming down the mountain, I had a memory of something. It was like, it reminded me of being in the army. And I was marching through a terrain that I couldn't see, and there was someone next to me who I couldn't see, but I was very aware of their presence. And I was in the front, and in back of me, I could hear the creaking of some kind of wagon or cart, and it was raining, and there was thunder. I could hear thunder. Yeah, I usually don't go on missions like that since I left the military, but I could have.
This is interesting to me because I've never been in the military, but I had a recollection of marching along as well, and I was behind a cart. There's a cart that had some lanterns on it, but that's all I can really remember. And I think it was also raining.
As Sarah and Liber share these descriptions of these memories that they had, each one of you roll a d6 and tell me if you got a 1.
4.
5.
Including me, or
yeah, all of you.
3.
4.
4.
4. Okay, so the only person that got a 1 was Bane. Okay. Bane, as they're describing this, you have this brief, very hazy flashback. You could see, like, almost through your own eyes, this memory of you marching with a group of people on this rocky, muddy path. You can hear like people on horseback kind of on either side of the column that you're marching with. And you can hear the sound of like wagon wheels creaking up ahead. And it's very dark at nighttime. It's raining. And for a moment in your memory, like lightning flashes during this storm. And you see that there's a group of like possibly 24 people in total. And you're kind of in the back of this group. And that at the front of this group, it looks like ahead of you you see a wagon, and it has like 2 lanterns on the back.
Do I hear any children voices, or it's all?
You don't hear any voices. You just hear the sounds of like
Just the hooves and the.
boots in the muck and like horses, and then the wagon ahead of you.
I too have had a similar vision. I've had 2 since awaking on the plateau. The first vision was an old hand handing me a scroll that was sealed with someone's mark that I don't recognize. And now I've just had another vision of marching with a group of people that I don't recall. I don't know the faces. I can't picture them in my mind. I don't know what we were doing. Then the lightning struck, and that's all I remember.
I'll look at Bane and say, I had the same flash of a hand putting a scroll in front of me when I was about to cast in. And that was right before we met.
Seems to me we've been hired, and we should find out who did that.
Well, it seems that there is an assortment of people here, like I see archers among us, I see warriors, I see priests, I see former military. Well, either we were there for protecting something or someone, or this is some kind of a test just to see our capabilities. This doesn't seem right. If we were supposed to protect someone or something, there should be some clue.
I think
but I have nothing.
Well, just
Yeah, why would someone hire us and then basically what feels like wiping our memories of all of it?
Maybe it wasn't them. Maybe we encountered some magic-y people, like, I don't know. I turn to Liber. Your church consider those heretics, don't they?
Very much so. But I do wonder if the person in the carriage is who we were supposed to protect, and if it was, where they are now.
Or if it's something else that was in the carriage. But whether it's either of those things, we should have at least some clue. And if somebody wiped our minds, I don't think that it was the person or people in that particular party. You know, we were here to protect someone.
Martin.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if it's fair that I would have taken yesterday the disc from the dead body with the inscribing.
I assumed that you did, yes.
So I pull it out and show it to them. Does this tell anything to you?
Does it
the young man pulls out a disc that's about 6 inches in diameter. It seems to be made of a very dull gray metal, and it is embossed with some kind of script, like fonts and script that you don't seem to recognize. Those of you who are literate certainly know that it's not in the writing of the common Doreguteon. So it's some kind of script that you don't recognize.
Did I see that?
Yeah, here you go.
I can just hold it in my hand. How large is it?
About 6 inches in
Okay.
diameter.
I'm gonna kind of scratch it with my fingernail a little bit.
It doesn't scratch. Your fingernail is nice and honed now.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I haven't seen this metal. I mean, I've seen lots of coin, and I've seen other kinds of metal, but not this.
The closest I would describe it to you is kind of a dull gray iron looking. It doesn't have a sheen. Like, for example, the silver coins or like a steel weapon. It doesn't have that kind of a sheen.
I brought some interesting artifacts back from my travels to the warehouse. And does it look anything like any of the interesting artifacts I brought back?
No.
Huh.
But,
You said yesterday that there was a green sheen on it, like.
Well, there was a very special circumstance under which you noticed that.
Oh.
Do you remember how you noticed that?
I don't remember how I noticed that.
So when Leonard first picked it out of the refuse pile, he didn't notice a green sheen, but then you approached in that dark cave. And what were you carrying?
The torch.
As you approached with the torch is when you noticed the slight green sheen.
Is it? It's in the morning right now, right?
It's in the morning, but you do have a campfire.
I'll hand it to Bane.
I'll hold it to the fire.
As you bring it closer to the fire, when it's within about a foot of the fire, you notice ever so subtly that the edges have that green sheen. It's almost like it glows just a tiny little bit, reflecting somehow or reflecting or somehow being affected by the proximity to the fire.
Is this like a reflection, or is it like an internal glow?
It seems to be a reflection. It seems to be external. But it has something to do with being close to the fire.
I wonder what happened if we heated it.
Hey, Bane, touch it to a flame.
I'll look around for something I can use as, like, tongs.
Okay, you grab 2 sticks.
Hold
and
it
you
over the flame.
Chopstick it together and kind of hold it into the fire. So you do that. It doesn't glow any brighter, but it definitely becomes obvious now that the external surfaces of the disc are all kind of reflecting that green color as you're holding it into the fire. How long do you hold it in the fire?
Till the sticks become aflamed.
Okay. So it gets hot enough for sticks that were damp. So I'm going to say you're holding it in there for a couple minutes. And you pull it back.
I'll stick it into the stream for a quick cool off and see if it does anything. See if it reacts.
It doesn't do anything. It doesn't hiss at all.
Wow.
That's odd.
Well, I just want to say...
Touch it.
I want to touch it with my hand.
It doesn't feel hot.
Ooh.
If you had held any piece of metal in the fire for 2 minutes and then pulled it out, it would have been hot. This does not feel hot.
Are there any holes in it, or
Nope.
any kind of?
How thick is it?
It is 30 millimeters thick. Or let's just say 2/3 of an inch thick.
I'd like to hold it next to my holy symbol and say a prayer.
When it
About
was
this thick.
inflamed, did any additional markings show up on the disc when it was in the fire?
Yes, around the edges. It said Ashnath Nabatu, Ashnath Gimbatu. No, I'm just kidding. That's Lord of the Rings.
I'm like, wait, why does that sound familiar?
You're examining it. Liber, you wanted to hold it?
Yeah, I want to hold it. I want to hold it next to my holy symbol and say a prayer.
Okay, what are you praying?
For knowledge and for our mysteries to be revealed.
And when I see him praying, I'll pray too.
Liber, make a d6 roll and tell me what the result is. So you're holding this thing next to your holy symbol of the one true God. And you start praying for knowledge. You don't get a flashback, but you get a feeling of absolute fear and dread, as if this thing is not good. Like,
I drop it.
you get almost like chills up your spine, like back of your neck is tingling, and it's almost terrifying. You guys see for a moment that Liber's like closes his eyes, seems to be in prayer, and then suddenly like snaps out of it, shaken, and just drops it.
This is evil.
May I pick it up? I ask.
Yes.
No, it's not mine. I just want to ask the group. May I pick it up?
Go ahead.
I pick it up.
That's right.
I examine it. And I don't pray out loud. But
Yeah.
I pray in my mind.
I know where you're going with this.
To my God.
Okay, you roll a d6 roll. Tell me what you get.
6.
You don't get any flashbacks, but you don't get a feeling of terror. You get a feeling like this is something old.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a feeling like what the priest said might not necessarily be true.
Mm-hmm.
But that this is definitely something different.
Do I recognize the script on it?
You do not recognize this.
Okay.
To be clear, in Lamentations, those of you with a 6 intelligence are in fact illiterate. You can speak the common tongue, but those of you with a 6 or 7 intelligence are effectively illiterate, which is most of you.
Yeah, that includes me.
But you've seen enough writing where like you know that this is not Doreguteon. It's not. It's some other kind of script.
Yeah. I'm just giving it a look, and I'm like, this thing's very old. Not sure about anything else, but I hand it back to whoever took it out the first time.
Leonard, may I have a check on that? I don't know how to read or how to do any of those scholarly stuff, but my sister told me many stories from times of old, and we might try another approach, like
like you can check it. Bell can from describing in my notes. Do I remember from before the plan I was copying was in the similar language?
Yes, that one strange page in your journal seemed to be something that you had tried to copy from memory. I would say 1 or 2 of the characters that you copied into your journal look similar to a couple of the characters on this disc.
I just you can try to look at it, but I think that whoever hired us had clue at least in similar language as this. From what
because maybe this is what we were supposed to find. I don't know. Well, what do we know? And I take it to my hand, bare hand, without any glove or whatever. I take it back to the fire.
Okay.
Perhaps we were given this task to recover this item from some unsavory people. And then when we were close to discovering it, perhaps someone put us under so that we would not remember our mission.
I would.
In an attempt to save whatever this thing is. I don't believe any item contains the ability to be either good or evil. What I believe is that the hand that wields it can be good or evil.
Okay, Bivoj and then Liber.
I take it to my hand, just plainly, without any sticks or whatever. I hold it like this and I put it into the fire so much that I won't get burned. And not loudly per se, but like quietly whispering a short prayer to all the gods that my sister taught me. Gods of old, gods of life and death, gods of nature, of storm and fire. If you hear my prayer, let me know. Let me gleam into your powers and your presence, and show me if this is the thing that we are searching for. And I hope that it will.
Roll a d6.
I won't get burned. Oh, d6. 1.
Okay, you say this prayer. Since you're all kind of sitting around the campfire, you hear as Bivoj is saying this. You hear the invocation. Bivoj, you have a flash. In this vision, this memory, you see yourself in a room that looks like a very kind of plain room, perhaps like a room in a simple tavern. But you see that, like, in your peripheral, you're surrounded by other people who are looking at this table like you. And you see a bunch of papers on it, and you see like a hand that looks like the hand of an older man with a ring on it, set this map out on the table. And the map looks like it's all just mountains. The entire map is just mountains. But in the middle of the map, you see this valley, and you see like icons on the map of like almost what looks like maybe castles or cities in this valley surrounded by mountains. And then you snap out of it. Liber, the words that you just heard, the prayer being made that you just heard, is without a doubt blasphemy. Like, you're not really sure what to do because you're not an inquisitor, but you're fairly certain that if someone did what he just did in a town, that there would be enormous consequences for this. Now, this youngish man doesn't seem like a terrible person in the short time that you've known him. If anything, he seems, I think it would be fair to say, a little simple, a little provincial. But he just basically blasphemed. So you may have mixed feelings about that.
Well, I want to point out to Bivoj that not all of our memories have been wiped. Like, I remember that I was born in Buza in the Eastern Kingdoms, and my family, the Marjit, I should tell you my name. My name is Sarah Florian Marjit, and my family, the Marjits, own Marjit Trading. I don't know if you've heard of them. We have a significant business and outlying farmland, and we have a warehouse in Southport. I remember my father's death. I remember my stepfather who taught me archery. He was a yeoman at the main castle. And, I remember being in the military in the southernmost of the Eastern Kingdoms. And I remember mustering out. This bow was given to me by my stepfather. I remember going on jobs, and mostly I made my money escorting caravans for my family's merchant company and other merchants, and did odd jobs here and there, so I may have picked up this job, but I'm surprised I'm not as well equipped as I should have been. I mean, I don't have any rations, and I know I would have picked that up, but so I don't know if you guys have any memories of your life, but I certainly do.
Leonard, you have a memory as Sarah is describing this, which I sent you in the chat. Are any of your characters from Southport? Didn't think so. So when Sarah rattles off this lineage, it means nothing to you.
Well, I do recall my history, just not the last couple of whatever that brought us here. But I highly doubt that anyone would hire us, then dump us up there without any memories. And like some of you guys said about being in a caravan, if you were protecting someone there, why would that person or group or whatever dump us here without memories? And if anyone attacked them, why would they have put us up here instead of just wasting us in an attack or something? So either way, it doesn't make sense. So I don't think anyone would put us up there, and if they would put us up there to find that disc, they probably would have known that this was there and just taken it. So I have no idea what we're doing here, but all of this still doesn't make any sense.
I'm going to stand up. I think my reaction to Bivoj is probably made me a little anxious. Maybe we should get moving and see if we could find some people or some place that might tell us at least where we are.
I've seen some things when I was praying. I've seen a map with a lot of mountains and a valley. There were some cities, settlements maybe, in the valleys. And I think that maybe, just maybe, we are in that valley. We should explore a little bit.
Well, that could be the Borderlands, because the Borderlands is surrounded by, on at least 3 sides by mountains, and there are several cities there. I think one thing I'd like to say is I'd like to hunt sometime this evening to maintain our rations, and I know I've been borrowing rations, so I feel strongly about that. So yeah, I think we should get going.
Oldrad.
As the other people are like talking about maybe we had been hired, I speak up. I was like, it would make sense that we've been hired. That could be a possible explanation why we have all this newly minted coins. But perhaps the reason why maybe we were protecting this carriage. I don't have no memories of this, but if I was there somehow, maybe we were beset by some sort of, I don't know, enemy force or something like that, and then
yeah, but why would an enemy force then just bring us somewhere and manage to wipe our memories of it all?
We could be under some sort of magical effect that an enemy put upon us.
Well, the Eastern scriptures speak of people who are chosen for specific tasks. Doesn't doesn't it, Liber? At least in the Eastern Kingdoms, there's such scriptures.
Liber,
Yes.
you certainly know that in both the Western Church and the Eastern Church, it's not uncommon for the Church to commission expeditions to carry out tasks on behalf of the Church, hiring non-clergy members and so forth. That's not uncommon.
Yes, I mean, the church hires many people for many tasks. I just don't know why they would have hired us to come out here. I think Bivoj's right. We need to see if we can find some settlements and find out what's going on.
Agreed.
I'm gonna pull out my map.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it to the group since they might have a better idea of where we are. They've been here longer.
Okay.
Specifically, I'd like to put it in front of Bivoj.
Pull out my map, which I've started to color in.
See
Yeah,
if
the map
he
looks
recognizes it.
very similar to the maps. Those of you who have maps on your character sheets, the map looks very similar. And as you look at, your maps of the Lands of Doreguteon, you are fairly certain that it doesn't help you in any way, shape, or form, because you could be in a small valley in any number of hundreds of different mountains and multiple dozens of different mountain ranges. Climate-wise, you don't feel that you're on the southern portion of Doreguteon, because it does feel a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
Not cold, not like winter, just cooler. Like it's midday right now, and it's overcast, and it's probably in the high 50s.
Mhm.
Do we see mountains in any direction?
You see mountains in every direction, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Every single direction.
Huh. So we're
Perhaps-
probably here,
Go ahead.
around here somewhere. I don't know if you can see, but I'm pointing to the top of the borderlands.
Perhaps we should follow the stream downwards and hopefully run across a village or something.
Yeah.
That's what Havardr had suggested to me earlier before we all met. We were about to do that.
So just to remind you, the big group, you guys had oriented yourselves at daybreak based on where the sun was. Oldrad and Havardr had woken up at noon, but you guys had woken up in the morning, so you figured out which direction the sun was rising, and you had determined that this stream ran east and west, at least for the portion that you're looking at it. It does seem to bend and curve as streams do, but for the portion that you're looking at it seemed to run from the west to the east. So if you followed it downriver, you are fairly certain that you would be going east. So you guys, everybody putting their armor back on now at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's gotten dry enough.
Okay, so as you guys are kind of, gearing up, you're feeling a little more dried off. The fire wasn't that big to begin with. You finish donning your armor, grabbing your packs, and
Make sure the fire is totally out and covered.
yeah, and then you hear movement about 30 feet north of you in the woods, and you hear like a stick crack.
Critter alerts.
All right.
Time to roll initiative. Everybody roll a d20. Add your dexterity bonus if you have one. And then in the chat on the Zoom, post your total initiative roll. Ah, excellent. Lovely. Fantastic. Okay, Sarah, you immediately spin around. And you see, running towards you at a very high, I would say a very high speed, a very high rate of movement. You see a creature that I will now describe. It is about, well, it's a quadruped creature. At first you think it's a bear, and it has gray fur with like kind of white tips to the gray fur. And you see it as it's racing towards you. It has kind of like a bear's head, but it's a very big bear's head. And you see it running across the ground. But you notice something strange about it. It doesn't just have 4 legs. It seems to have 6. And then rearing up is a second head. So basically you see a 2-headed bear with 6 limbs. And it's running towards you guys with enormous paws and claws. But you can act first.
Yeah, there's going to be an arrow headed that way. So I'm rolling a 20-sider plus my ranged attack bonus. Yeah, lovely. That is 9.
Your arrow misses it as it races past you. Up next, I believe, is Bane.
Seeing the arrow miss, I grab my battle axe with both hands. Wait, how close is the creature?
You can run up to it and attack.
I will.
Okay. You heft your battle axe, you race towards it, closing the distance between you and this thing.
19.
That is a hit. Roll damage.
There's my D8. 14.
Okay.
I take my axe and
14, I don't think that's possible in Lamentation.
my hit die, I'm a 1d8, and it's a +7 for the battle axe.
No, that's to hit only.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
7.
It's not like in D&D. So, okay, so that is a powerful hit as your axe carves into like the shoulder of this thing. Oldrad.
Oldrad.
See the big
pulls
lumbering
out.
guy run up with his axe.
Yeah, Oldrad pulls out his battle axe, though not quite as large as Bane's battle axe, and he runs up as well and just screaming, and he goes up to like the left side of the creature and tries to swing into its body.
Okay.
And I rolled dirty 20.
Okay, that is a hit. Roll damage.
6 damage.
Okay. Oldrad, you carve into this thing. It shrieks in pain from both of you attacking it, which then brings us to Liber.
I'm not sure exactly how the magic works, but I would like to run up to it and cast Command.
Ooh. Well. It's time to look up a spell, and that spell is called Command. All right. So your character would know how this spell works. I'm going to read the spell description because spells in Lamentations are different from spells in D&D. There are some similarities, but magic in Lamentations is a little bit different. So, command. When a cleric casts a spell, he can give the subject a single word command which it obeys to the best of its ability. The single word must make sense as a single command, such as approach, drop, fall, flee, halt, surrender, sleep. Although a target could be instructed to die, this will only make the target collapse into a comatose state for a single round. Note that the caster must be able to speak the language of the target. So I'm going to say that you would know that this spell won't work on a beast.
Got it. Then I would like to draw my rapier.
To be fair, if this were like a domesticated or trained animal, I would say that a verbal command could work. So like if you were doing that to Critter, like I would say that might work, but this is a wild beast.
Right. In that case, I'd like to as I run up to draw my rapier and attack.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d20.
I got 18.
All right, good. Roll the damage for your rapier.
D8. 3.
3?
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay, so that was you. Now we are on to Leonard.
Okay. So I see everyone run towards the strange beast, and you guys are crazy. And since I can fire only on a crossbow once in 2 turns, I assume I have to start with loading crossbow.
Yes, you will load your crossbow.
Yeah, and try to.
Okay, Claude, you're up.
Yeah. I'm gonna run up to the beast as well, and while running up, checking the area to see if it's large enough room to wield my two-hander, and if so, pull it out.
You can.
Okay, then as I'm running up, I'm pulling out my two-hander and taking a big old swing at his one of the heads.
Okay, go ahead.
That would be on the two-hander, 11.
You swing and it just glances off.
Yeah, moving and fighting doesn't often work.
Okay, now we have Havardr and Bivoj. I need to see who has the higher dexterity.
I think Bivoj has higher than me.
Okay.
I have 18.
I have 17.
Okay, Bivoj, you're up.
I just stand up and grab my bow and shoot the thing.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a d20, add your ranged attack bonus.
That's 24.
24? That's a hit. Okay, roll damage.
4.
All right, 4 it is. And now Havardr.
I'm gonna take some steps back just so I can have some range. Pull my bow out and take a shot. 16.
That's a hit. Damage.
Two.
Okay. So, the people who are closest to it currently, if I'm not mistaken, are Oldrad, Claude, Bane, and Liber. In that order, first attack goes to Bane. And it is a miss. Second attack goes to Oldrad. That is a 19.
Yes.
You're going to take 5 damage.
Oof.
Yeah. Goes to Oldrad. That is a 18 for 6 damage.
6.
Fourth attack goes to Claude. That is a 17 for 2 damage.
That matches.
Okay. So, as you may have surmised, the 6-limbed double-headed bear creature rises up and just starts swatting at all of you, right? Necessarily just these huge, big paws with claws just tearing into you, raking across you, and its two heads just roar simultaneously, and it's loud, like reverberating across the valley loud. Top of the next round. Back to you, Sarah. Time to roll morale. No, just kidding.
Well, I'm going to run over to...
Actually, you know what? I do need to have someone make a morale roll. Claude, go ahead and do a charisma roll under.
It's going to be a D6, right? Or no, D20.
Roll a D20 and roll under your charisma.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Let's see, charisma. No, that's not going to be. That's 19 against a 12, so...
Okay, your dog is barking but has not engaged. He's frightened of the bear. So he kind of hanged back and he's just barking nonstop. All right, Sarah, you're up. Top of the second round.
Okay, tell me how much of this I can do. I'm going to run up to Leonard and get behind him and put my back next to his. And I'll say, shoot high, shoot for the head. And then I'm going to try to shoot for the head, because that's higher than the rest of the people.
So to be clear, if you put your back to him, you'd be facing the stream. So you just run
up.
I'll
be next to him.
Okay, so you're trying to hit the head. Go ahead, roll.
Any deficits on this?
Yes, you're making a call shot.
Okay. Oh, great. That's a 16.
-4 is 12. Your arrow flies a little bit wide of one of the two heads. All right, that brings us to Bane. I think you're muted, buddy.
How tall is the creature?
Standing tall at... This one's a big one. I'm going to say he's 12 feet tall.
And is he currently on his hind legs, or is he on
Yeah, he's on his hind legs because he just stood up and raked across all of you.
Okay, I'm going to try to take a leg out with the battle axe.
Okay, called shot. Go ahead and roll. Tell me what you get.
16.
That's a 12.
Is that... Do I add the attack bonus, or the called shots doesn't get an attack bonus?
No. You roll, you add your attack bonus, tell me the total.
Okay, 16 plus 7 is 20. Math,
23.
Everyone, 3.
-4 for the called shot, still
19.
Gives you a 19, which is a hit. So go ahead and roll damage to the hind leg.
1d8. A 1.
All right, I mean, you cut it. I'm going to actually have him make a roll. Oh no.
Oh no.
That's not good. You cut him, not deeply, but enough where he kind of drops down. So he's gonna lose 1 attack of his 4 attacks next round. All right, Bane, you are done. That brings us to Oldrad.
Yeah, so since Oldrad just took 2 massive strikes, he like stumbles a little bit, but still in the fight, and just comes with a big overhand chop towards the body. Not a called shot.
Okay.
That's a 17.
That is a hit. Roll damage.
And that'll be 5 damage.
Okay. Excellent. Liber, you're up.
All right, I'm just taking...
Leonard.
I'm
Go ahead, Liber.
All right. I'm going right for rapier center of the body. 2.
You kind of stab inwards, but the creature turns as it got hit from the other side when Oldrad hit it, so your rapier just barely misses it. Leonard, you're up.
I have a question. Would it be surprised by the attack from the distance?
No.
So then,
However, if you spent another round running up behind it, you could definitely get your sneak attack bonus in melee.
I will prefer to attack from distance. So I will shoot my crossbow, which is 1, which doesn't hit anyway.
Uh-oh. It's time for critical failure roll. Okay, you're fine. Your bow, your crossbow string doesn't snap. It just misfires and your bolt goes flying into the forest. Keep track of your ammunition, archers. This isn't D&D 5e. Your shit runs out. You're in the middle of nowhere, and none of you are Fletchers, so good luck. Okay.
I have some.
Up next, we have Claude.
Yep. Still swinging, I suppose. So
Go ahead and attack.
my other dice does better. That would be a 21.
That's a hit. Give me some damage.
Roll high. That's a 3 damage.
Excellent. All right, B-boy, you're up.
I'll try to shoot that sucker again.
Okay, roll.
Oh no. It's 9.
You fire off another arrow into the forest. We are up to Havardr.
I will also fire my bow. And I will get a 10 total.
Oh no, another arrow goes flying into the forest. And it's time for doom. Okay, let's see. First attack is Oldrad.
Oh no.
Not looking pretty for you, buddy. Well, actually, that is pretty. So you have a higher armor class than
16 AC.
All right. Second attack is Claude. And is your armor class higher than 11?
Yep.
Okay, yay. And the third and final attack, thanks to that leg drop, is again on Oldrad.
Oh no.
17 hit?
It's oh god.
4 more damage, buddy. 4 more.
4 more damage. Got it.
Okay. That is the last of its attacks. For that round. So we are back at the top of the order with Sarah.
I shout, Oldrad, pull back, and I try to shoot the thing at its head again, assuming it's above the fray.
It is currently still above the fray. Yes.
Okay. 15.
That hits.
Oh wow.
Damn it.
Okay. 2.
Okay. Then we have Bane.
All right, I'm just gonna swing wildly. It's a 14.
Miss. Then we have Oldrad.
A question I didn't ask on my last turn. Does this look like a living creature?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Yeah, I'm gonna can I use like a disengage type action?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the back up because I'm not looking pretty right now. I think I got some, like that last hit me across the face and it kind of got some gash open.
Okay. Liber.
All right, I'm going to try and attack again. See if I can get this time. 1.
Oh,
You swing out, and once again, it just kind of it's moving so fast that you just kind of miss piercing it. Leonard.
Okay. So this time I'm trying to run around him in the circle, try to start back and start loading second shot into my crossbow.
Okay, you are moving around as Oldrad is falling back, but you're moving around with a wide enough berth to be able to not be within its reach. Claude, you were up.
Yeah. If it has two heads, right? Yeah.
2 heads,
Yeah.
6 limbs.
I'm gonna take a swing at one of the legs that's close to mine.
Okay.
Roll a 19 would make 26.
26 minus 4 is 22. That's still a hit. Your called shot is successful on the other leg. Roll the damage, buddy.
Yeah, it's another 3.
Not bad.
It's not. Well, on a D10, it's bad.
This time it does not drop. You carve into it, but it's maybe it's just full of adrenaline. Who knows? Bivoj, you're up.
I'll try to aim for this turn, and I will aim for the head.
Okay, you're going to spend a round to reduce the penalty for a called shot. Excellent. Havardr.
I'm going to come in where
Oldrad moved out.
Oldrad moved out.
Okay.
Pull out my sword and take a swing with that.
All right. Make your roll, add your melee attack bonus.
It is 10 yet again.
Oof.
Just, you're running up, you kind of do this, haphazard swipe, but the thing's moving so fast. And now, the litany of pain shall begin. The first attack is a claw attack on you, Havardr. Oh no, a 19. Does that hit?
Yep.
Take 5 damage. The second attack is a claw attack against Liber. Oh no. Liber, you. Oh no! That's a nat 20. So you're going to take 10 damage as this thing rakes its claw out and knocks you back 5. Liber, I need you to make a strength roll under. That means you want to roll a d20 and roll under your strength.
2. We're at a 6.
Okay, you are not knocked prone. So you keep your ground, but you're knocked back 5 feet from the girth of that hit. I did not invoke that we're playing with the Bill Allen damage alternative scoring system. If we had, you would have taken 13 instead of 10. Maybe we'll invoke that in future sessions. All right, the next attack, however, is a bite attack against Havardr. Does a 17 hit?
No, my armor class is 18.
Its jaws snap out at you, and you're like, man, that would have really hurt. The bear is now down in its crouched position and ready for the next round of combat. Which brings us to round 3 with Sarah. Make it quick or you lose your turn.
Yeah, I don't see a good shot, so I'll run up and grab Liber and pull him back.
Okay. Bane.
With him down in the squat in the down position, I'm going to try to take a head off.
Oh, called shot.
Natural 20.
No!
Hey.
Plus 7.
All right.
Call him the butcher for nothing.
Roll the damage.
Goddamn right. 4.
Okay, so that is 8 total damage. I'm going to make a Constitution roll under. One of the heads is not completely lopped off, but it's dangling, and blood is gushing onto you. Like you are just, your entire front is just saturated in this thing's blood. The other head roars in pain. Oldrad, you are back. What do you do?
I drop my battle axe and I pull out my bow, and I'm going to do a called shot on its eye, but
Okay.
I'm going to take a round to aim.
Okay, so you're gonna, good. So you take a round to aim. That brings us to Liber.
Sarah has pointed back, so can I draw my bow and fire the same round?
If you're willing to drop your rapier, you can pull your bow and fire.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead and roll. Add your ranged attack bonus.
17.
That's a hit. Roll me the damage.
D6. 6.
Nicely done. It seems just very, very wounded. But it is still full of rage and it is just attacking. Leonard, you are up.
So, second bolt loaded, and since I run around it, I will try to shoot into whatever explodes to me.
Yes.
So, 13
Nope.
plus 3 and plus 2 because Crystal ignores the 2 of AC.
Okay, so how much total?
So that would be
18?
7 in total.
Yeah, that's a hit. So roll damage, add your sneak attack damage dice.
I believe in this game it's multiplier.
Yeah, so roll the damage and then multiply times 2.
So I rolled 2 so far.
Okay, so how many dots of sneak attack do you have total?
Just 2.
Okay, so 2, so 6 damage. Okay, so that brings us to Claude.
Yeah. If need be, I'm going to reposition and just take a swing at the other head.
Okay, called shot?
Yep.
Go ahead.
15 and 7 is 22 would
Minus
make
4 is
18.
Okay, that's a hit. What's the damage?
And I rolled an 8 on that one.
Nice. You do not lop the head off, but it's you cut into like its neck, and a gout of blood shoots out. Bivoj.
Okay, I will release my aimed shot,
Yes.
and I think it negates -4
Yep.
local shot.
Yep.
So in that case, I have 26 attack and 6 damage.
Okay. As Bivoj releases his arrow, the arrow flies into the one remaining head and pierces it just under its jaw and blows out through the top. And this enormous creature just shudders and collapses.
I'm gonna run the other way.
Okay. There's a moment after it collapses where it's very quiet. Like you don't hear birds chirping in the trees or anything. It's just very still. Like the sound of the stream 30 feet away is like, and the wind through the trees is the only sound that you guys hear. What do you want to do?
Put my arrow away and my bow and pick up my battle axe.
Okay.
Does anyone have a dagger or a fillet knife?
I'm on it. I'm trying to skin the hell out of a beast.
Well, I walk up to it, kick it, look at it, and for good measure, I'll draw my sword and make sure it's dead by stabbing it through the throat.
Okay. You notice something, all of you who were on the plateau. You notice that this thing's fur very much looks like the clumps of fur that you found in the cave. And it would that
Are
it's very
Are his
similar.
paws the same size?
Yes, very similar sized paws.
Okay. Hey guys, this might look like the guy, the beast, whatever that was in the cave. I mean, it kind of matches the fur and the paws. Although I didn't figure out it would have six of them.
Yeah,
Having
that's
said that, I think I'm gonna look for more firewood so we can cook up this beast.
that's one less problem to worry about.
Yeah.
So let me just summarize, make sure I understand what you're trying to do now. Some of you are going to go find more dry wood to build a bigger fire. Others are going to try to carefully salvage the hide of this thing and the meat of this thing. Is that accurate?
I reclaim my rapier.
Okay. All right. If that's what you guys are doing, yes.
Yes.
Then I'm going to say this whole process is going to take 2 hours.
Can I
Now,
do something?
you could do something, yes.
I'm gonna just go back to the stream by myself to just like clean my wounds. But as I'm doing that, I'm going out of view of the other people. I'm going to cast Cure Light Wounds on myself.
Excellent. To which of the old gods do you think you would be praying? Since you are by a stream, for example.
Yes. To the old god of nature for her healing capabilities.
Okay, I want you to make a wisdom roll under.
Okay. And my wisdom. I actually rolled under. I rolled under
just so
by
you guys
4. My
know,
wisdom's 18.
Yeah, the roll under mechanic is not something that's official rules as written for Lamentations, but a lot of people use it. And I use it specifically for certain things in my world setting to reveal things that are maybe mysterious. What'd you get?
I rolled 4 under.
Okay.
And I recover the maximum. I recover 9 hit points. Still hurt. Still hurt though.
You feel like as you make this prayer, you feel a very nurturing and almost feminine presence blessing you.
Mm-hmm.
Like somehow, not so much the water itself, but this place, like this very, very pristine, kind of like not trafficked by mankind. This place in nature
Very pure. Still.
blesses you, and you feel kind of a feminine presence from that.
Oldrad gives his thanks to her and cleans up as best as he can. He still has some wounds, but he's feeling a lot better.
Am I not the most
goes
damaged?
back. Sorry, go ahead.
I would say if I'm not the most damaged now, I'd like to do cure wounds on myself unless someone is really hurt.
Did anyone else take a lot of damage? Claude? No? All right, Liber, you feel like preserving yourself is not a bad idea. Because to your knowledge, you're the only person who can heal and invoke the blessings of the one true God.
Okay, so do we need to roll for that, or do I just do the 1d6?
You roll a 1d6
Plus your level.
plus 3
3
your level.
plus 3, so 6.
Okay, now roll a wisdom roll under.
And wisdom is 18. I rolled a 16.
you receive an additional hit point of healing on top of what you rolled already.
Nice. Okay. Doing pretty good there. I say my thanks and I also do I have time to explore the area a little bit, just look around?
Oh yeah, you guys have 2 hours. Unless you're part of the crew of people who are basically skinning and butchering this animal, you have time to collect wood and build the fire and...
Yeah, I'd like to collect some wood and just look around just to see if there's anything unusual as I'm doing that.
Okay. I'll say that, collectively, as you guys kind of scrounge, you find dry wood, dry material for the fire, continuously bring it out. You sort of fan out, and you're able to explore within a few hundred yards of like this campsite that you've set up. And it seems like this patch of forested valley is, again, you don't find any evidence that like people are here, right? There's like no tracks of people. There's no paths or roads. Like at one point you see some rabbits, you see birds, but like it seems like a very natural place. Anyone else doing anything during the 2-hour stretch?
After returning with a little bit of what I can get from around, I want to just check if there isn't something like oozing from the meat which is unexpected or something.
The meat seems to be fresh and clean. The blood was the color that you would expect blood to be.
So the only difference on this animal is that it has extra limbs and extra head?
It seems like that would be the only major difference, yes.
Anyone have a dagger or a knife I can borrow?
I will say this. All of you can make an intelligence roll under, and tell me if you succeed.
Under.
I will offer my dagger to
3.
Sarah.
Thanks.
Nat 20.
That was a good roll for me.
I rolled
I'm
a
6
7,
under.
and I think I'm.
I got a 3, and my
didn't know
intellect
anything.
is 6.
I have 5 under.
I have a 6 intelligence and I rolled a 5.
Anybody who rolled a 1, 2, or 3,
Yes,
You rolled a
I
3.
rolled 1.
it suddenly occurs to you that you think you've heard legends about this animal. It kind of took a minute for you to figure this out, but like you, almost like the kind of stories that people tell, but you don't really believe, but that you have heard of legends of this animal, and that they are called Karu. Very extremely rare, and almost the stuff of legends and myth. Like no one that you would have known would have ever actually encountered or hunted or seen one of these. It would be like if you came across like a Yeti or an abominable snowman. Like it wouldn't really be stuff that you would believe to be true, but here you are, and you're fairly certain that this thing that you just defeated is in fact a Karu.
You tell us all that?
Yeah, I will.
No, keep it a secret. No, I'm just
I was just
Like
I
my
want to be
My dad told me about this creature. He tried to scare me when I played outside after the dusk, but I've never thought that I will encounter one. This is thrilling for the hunter.
I'm carefully locating tendons and removing those.
okay. So in all, it takes with the collective group of you, it takes about 2 hours to harvest the good meat, clean it up, skewer it, start roasting it, and another probably hour. Oh, and the hide. So the hide is not impeccable, right? Because you guys cut the shit out of it. But you're able to salvage 2 heads. The claws, if you want to, and I would say 3/4 of its hide is salvageable. It would still have to be scraped and dried and smoked, all that stuff that, processing the hide, which would probably take the rest of the day.
I grab a couple claws as a souvenir.
Do any of us know how to do that?
Bivoj knows how to clean the hide, but it's gonna take like the rest of this day at least to scrape it and start to cure it, and even then it won't be fully cured.
I can begin with the process, but it takes its time.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna watch the food cooking, make sure it cooks evenly and well.
Okay.
No rare meat here.
Could I go foraging?
You can. You can roll a d6 and give me your best bushcraft roll. Any of you have a 1 in 6 chance of successfully bushcrafting.
I will help with that. I will try at least.
Okay. Anything specific?
I have nothing in foraging or hunting, but I rolled a 6.
A 6 is the opposite of good.
Yeah.
I didn't do well either.
Me neither. I was going to say I was looking for some extra herbs while I was gathering wood, but I got a 2 against 1.
Okay.
So
I got a 3.
All right.
But I would like to say a blessing over the meat.
Okay. You do. You give thanks for this bounty of meat. And you guys realize that you'll be able to, when it's all said and done, you'll be able to fill your stomachs and have a lot of cooked meat afterwards that we'll probably keep for maybe a day before it starts to go bad. But
could we dry it, like make some jerky?
You could, but that's going to basically involve somebody slicing it into thinner strips and smoking it for the entire night. Which, I mean, somebody, if you're taking watches, you can kind of continuously do that.
I'll bring that up.
Say we do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a knife or dagger.
You start cutting out thinner strips. You kind of take a bunch of branches and put them together almost like a lattice, like a grill, and you rig up kind of a higher elevation to put the strips on, so they're getting some of the low heat, and you kind of lay some rocks out from nearby the river, kind of a ring around your fire. And in short order, basically, you guys spend the rest of the day dealing with this catch, and into the night smoking it. Who's on the first watch? 2 people for the first watch. All right. So Oldrad and Sarah, you're on the first watch. I need each of you to roll a d6.
3.
1.
Okay. Your 3 hours goes by uneventfully, other than maintaining the fire and turning your jerky strips and keeping that going. It's uneventful. Who's on second watch? All right, Bivoj and Bane. Roll a d6 for me and tell me what you get.
3.
4.
Okay. 2 hours into your shift, you hear a sound from about 60 feet away in the forest, like something moving, but then it stops.
Just in case I prepare my whistle in the case of attack.
Just to be clear, it is nighttime in this forest. There's very little moonlight because it's overcast, and the canopy of the trees kind of filters a lot of the light from the moon. So the only light you have comes from the campfire, and that gives you about 15 feet of light. Unless you light
How
it.
far, how far away is the sound we heard?
Farther than you can see.
Let's
Maybe
be cautious.
50 or 60 feet away.
I put the mystical creature head on a spike instead by the campfire.
Ooh. You know what? That is worthy of you making a charisma roll under.
Intimidation factor, baby.
Yeah. I like that idea. I'll even give you a bonus because it's a big head.
My charisma is a set of 5.
Did you happen to roll under an 8?
No, I got a 13.
Okay. So you put this head on one of the limbs that you guys snapped off, and you just kind of hold it there. You don't hear any more sounds. The rest of your shift goes by uneventfully. Who is on the third watch?
Me and Claude.
Claude and Havardr. So Liber just gets to sleep the whole night long, which is wonderful for his. No, so Liber, you'll wake up during their shift, but Claude and Havardr, roll a d6 for me.
1.
2.
Okay, the third shift goes by uneventfully. As just before dawn breaks, Liber wakes up, very well rested. Liber, I assume that you start off your morning with some prayers.
Yes.
Okay.
Just presentation.
And as well you do. And by the time you're done with your prayers, everybody else starts waking up. The fire has been going all night. All shifts have been curing thin strips of meat. So you guys have successfully created rations for yourself. So make a note that you have 1 additional day of rations, or sorry, 2 additional days of rations. One of those days you have for breakfast, which is the freshly cooked meat. And then you have an additional day of dried jerky meat.
Everybody?
Everybody.
Okay.
Question, were we able to retain any or recover any arrows or anything when we searched?
That is another fantastic question. How many arrows are you missing?
I just missed 1.
Roll
Well,
a d6. On a 1, 2, or 3, you recover your arrow.
5.
Okay.
1, because I missed 1.
Okay. Anybody else trying to recover arrows? Sarah?
Assuming that the arrow that hit the beast is still there.
Yeah,
Is
roll a d6. On a 1, 2, 3, it's not broken.
Okay. 3. So that one's good.
Okay.
And 2 of them went off in the forest.
Yep. Same
1, 2,
thing.
3 for each.
Yep.
Okay, I found 1. I rolled a 1, and I found the other one. Yay!
Okay.
I fired 3.
Roll.
2 hit the creature and 1 went to the forest.
Okay, same thing. So roll a d6 for each of those. And Martin, you do the same for your crossbow bolts. On a 1, 2, 3, you recover it. On a 4, 5, 6, you do not.
I recovered just 2.
Okay.
So first one 2 and second one first, and that's 4. So I recovered just the one from the beast.
Little louder. I didn't hear that.
I recovered just one of them.
Okay.
The first one was 2. The second one was 4. So.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. So all of you are rested. You had bedrolls, so your ability to sleep comfortably was sufficient, I would say. So none of you took more than half of your hit points, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so each one of you that was wounded can recover 1 hit point. And that's all. No such long rest 5e rules, my friends. Pain means something. You guys awaken. The valley seems peaceful. It did not rain, which you're grateful for. And you guys kind of pack up After you eat some more of the meat, you pack up what you can, both fresh meat and jerky. And now the decision. Where are you going?
I would recommend going downstream. Do you agree?
I would say
Downstream sounds good to
downstream.
me.
But
Okay.
the question is, do we take this side of the river or the other one?
Before
Because we came from the other side, down from the mountain.
I don't think I want to get wet and have to build another fire, so maybe we just stay on this side.
There is that thing.
just a thought. We said Avendia was in the west, was it not?
Correct.
And we thought our coins had come from there. That maybe we want to head in that direction.
Well, I would assume it would be better to at least get out of the mountains, which I assume going downstream will help us.
Once we get down to the lowlands, we can go wherever we want.
Yeah.
We just have to go where the stream goes, and it will eventually lead us from those mountains. That's our best option.
Yeah, a lot of the cities are posted on waterways. And I think that's our best bet.
So
Yeah.
you want to go east?
Follow the
Yeah.
stream.
Okay. All right.
We don't know how far west we are, so going east doesn't really matter anyway.
That's true. You guys begin walking alongside the north side of this stream, and your trek continues for many miles. The stream winds east and west. It winds, but it also kind of curves as streams do. So what I need all of you guys to do is make a bushcraft roll. And you want to roll a 1 if possible.
That's the fortune hunting, or?
Strange.
Now, this is to maintain your orientation.
Okay, well,
Basically
it's a
to
1.
prevent you from getting lost.
No, I lost in the forest. I rolled 6.
Rolled a 2.
I got a 1.
I got 6.
5.
We get lost if we're following
One.
At least one of us knows where we're going.
Okay, Claude is fairly certain. Even as the stream after about 5 miles. So you guys are trekking through this densely kind of forested valley, and it kind of goes up a hill, and then it kind of goes down a little slope. You're still trying to follow the stream, but after 5 miles, Claude is fairly certain that the stream has turned south for as far as you could see. Do you want to continue going east through the mountains, or do you want to try to follow the stream south?
We
I
should
would say
follow.
south.
We should follow the stream.
Yeah, follow the stream.
At this
Okay.
point, yeah.
We have water close by, so hey.
Another 5 miles goes by, and at a certain point, you eat, by midday, you eat the last of your fresh meat. So you don't need to eat your jerky or your other rations quite yet. You stop, you kind of, eat something. You continue to follow the stream.
Does it any time clear the area in front of us enough that the folks with the spy glasses might help
No,
trying to spot things?
you're basically surrounded by mountains still.
Okay.
All right, after another 5 miles as it's heading south, I'm going to say now it is 2 p.m. Yeah, that's about right. You see that the stream ends in a small pond. And you still have mountains to the north and south and west of you. But it seems like there's hills to the east of you.
Is there any tracks of any kind?
No. And it's still tall grass, bushes, trees. Like there's no paths. Like you guys are literally cutting your way through. That's why your travel progress is fairly slow. Your hiking it's taken you about 2 to 2.5 hours for every 5 miles that you've traveled.
So we're probably making quite a bit of noise, so that trying to spot any wildlife to hunt.
Yeah, you would have to stop and try to orient yourself to do any hunting. But there is a pond. The stream terminates in a pond.
Mm-hmm.
We try some fishing.
Up to you.
Don't have any gear.
Gather some
I'd
water.
I'd like to wash off.
Okay. Looks like a nice freshwater pond. There's like tall grasses and plants all around it that seem to be kind of wetland plants.
I've got some soap if anyone wants to use it when I'm done.
So as you approach, the edge of the pond, you see like little minnows and stuff kind of swim away. You see like a bullfrog. Splash some water on yourself, wash up a little bit. Anybody else washing up?
I'll wash up.
At least
I'll share the soap around.
Okay. You are doing just that. You guys, kind of wash up. You finish washing up, sort of dry yourselves off with your blankets or bedrolls. And
Do you think we should make camp here?
I was going to say it's about 4 p.m. So you still have a few hours of sunlight.
Well, we
Maybe
could stay
continue
here,
from
but
there.
if we're gonna stay here, I'm gonna scout around.
I would vote to press on.
Yeah, press on.
Pressing on. Okay. I need another bushcraft roll to see if you could determine, because you're not following a stream anymore, and the sun is definitely to the west of you over the mountains, so you're having kind of a uncertain sense of your directions.
Nope, I lost my way. That's a 6.
Got a 4.
yes, 1. For a change.
Okay, so one of you got a 1. Leonard, you are fairly certain that crossing these hills that you're kind of facing to the east might be the best way to head if your intent was to continue going east.
Yeah. And we can navigate to the hills because they are different from the surroundings. So.
Well, you feel like the mountains that you just went through are definitely to your west, though you see mountains to the north as well, and to the south. So you feel like you're coming out of a mountain range.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's I turn to group. Do you think it's to the rest of the group? Do you think it's the best course of action to head towards the hills?
Looks like the easiest path to go.
Yeah, there are dangers in the hills, though, as I recall.
Yeah, but as soon as we are out of those mountains, we are good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we
And
could take that bear, I think we could take things in the hills.
Mm.
well, here's the thought. Back up the stream.
No.
What do we do upstream with that? I presume that leads to the top of the mountain. What would we do there?
Yeah, it's probably, and by the looks of it, it's probably just ending in this pond. It's probably not a big stream that we would find settlements anyway, but just putting it out there,
The next question is, do we want to cross the stream here where it isn't so wide? And
You don't need to cross the stream. You're on the north bank of it.
It's
Oh, okay,
terminating here.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Yeah, let's
I
go.
would say head to the hills.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's camp pretty soon.
So you wanna hike for what, until dusk, maybe until the sun sets?
Yeah, like
till it's starting to come down,
Okay.
Yeah, so we can
but it's in
manage-
the crepuscular time.
Okay, so you begin hiking up these hills. At certain points, the hills are pretty big, like where you're hiking up a couple 100 feet, 100 feet, and then you kind of come down, and there's just as far as you could see out to the horizon, north, south, and east.
At the top of one of the hills, when we're all gathered around, I want to suggest picking out a hill ahead of us where there would be a good spot to camp.
Okay. Those of you with spyglasses, you kind of get your spyglasses out. You could see pretty clearly out to almost a mile, and you see there are many options for kind of taller hills that you could set your sights on. Most of this area has sparse trees and scrub brush, not as densely or lushly forested as the valley. So it's fairly open.
How's the temperature?
It is still a little windy and still a little cool, but not terribly. I would say in late afternoon, it's probably like in the mid 50s or 12 degrees Celsius. So you're comfortable.
Would we need a fire to sleep?
It might get cooler at night.
Yeah.
Because we're out in the open, I was thinking if we could avoid a fire.
Right. There are pros and cons. Like if you camp on top of a hill, obviously it's going to be a bit more windy. If you camp kind of in the lowlands between hills, you might be able to find a little refuge from the wind.
Yeah, and if we do it on top of the hill, we'll be telegraphing our position.
Well, we'll also be able to see if something is coming at us.
The pros and cons of high ground.
I vote for high ground.
All right, thumbs up if you vote for high ground.
It worked for Obi-Wan.
All right, well, when all of you die, then Veet and Patrick will just laugh. All right, you guys make your way. You hike for yet another 5 miles, and it is nearly sundown, but you get to a nice, solid hill. It has like 3 trees on it and a bunch of scrub brush. It's kind of a mix of dirt and rock, but it seems like an appropriate place. How are you?
Try and gather some firewood as we're going.
Yeah, it's
like
not
the
too
end of
bad.
the day.
I'll make the fire ring.
Yeah, you guys, you grab some rocks, you kind of make a fire ring, you start to gather some timber, some dried material, and before too long, you're able to get a fire going. And it is nighttime, and that seems like the perfect place to end this session of the Lamenters. Find out what awesome encounters will occur at the top of the camp hill on the next episode. Thanks everybody for watching, for liking and subscribing. We'll see you for more Lamentations of the Flame Princess next time. Peace out. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome back. God damn it, Karappa.
Oh, we're not in the studio.
We're not even in the studio. Son of a bitch, Karappa.
Well, hello, and welcome to Billalan World. I am Wizzy, the Wizard. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. Tune in to the next episode of whatever show you are just watching, and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.